I do so love this game. Alright. This might take a little while to find. That's the one. So then. Up, the chat is back up. We're all fantastic now. Well, actually, a bit less than fantastic because this game can be a little bit garbage, to put it politely. I do love using colourful words, but I'd rather not. Just to keep it nice and PG. So, a little bit of an explanation. I think what happened in that brief moment when we were sitting on the grid, the host of the session, who I think is Plebs, left the session to restart, to create a new one. And basically what happens when the host leaves a lobby like that, it's basically a 50-50 chance that your game will crash or not. And unfortunately mine crashed. So what happens is, when it does crash like that, it stops any broadcast. So I have to restart the broadcast as well, which I've done. So oh well. Just small technical difficulties, I guess. It wouldn't be a race on F1 2020 if there wasn't some sort of problem somewhere. Oh well. It happens. We move on. But now with the reset, I can actually see what kind of weather we're having. Light clouds, so it wasn't going to rain at all during that race. It was just going to be light cloud all the way through. So that's nice to know. And actually I noticed somebody in the Discord talking about the alternate strategy is a bit screwed up now because everyone will be on fresh rubber. So drivers doing the alternate will have fresher rubber compared to those on scrub tyres who did qualifying, or qualified inside the top 10, I should say. But now they're kind of screwed up, so anyway. It's just something for those outside the top 10 to deal with. Just something they have to deal with. Anyway. People are now starting to ready up. Good. We can finally get this thing underway. I love I can't even talk now. I love lobby restarts, they're great. Cut down a little bit because of this as well. We've lost 2 drivers, so anyway. But yeah, game crash, so that means the broadcast is stopped, so I have to start a new one, hence the new stream. So here we go. Race time here in Brazil. It's only light cloud throughout the race, so I don't think there'll be any sort of intermediate conditions at any point. So oh, please don't tell me we're stuck in a loading screen, please. Just take us a little while, I guess, to load in. There we go. But yes, hopefully we'll get a nice entertaining race to put a nice bow over the course of this season. There's a bit more blue sky compared to what it was previously, but I don't think the drivers would mind that too much. So, dearie me. An important thing for the drivers to remember is to choose a setup as well. If you don't choose a setup, you are screwed for the whole race. So make sure you choose something. You don't want to be stuck on default. Of course, for the drivers inside the top 10, they must start on the tyre they qualified on in the previous lobby. Otherwise, they get disqualified. So, anyway, loading in now. Hopefully the lobby won't shit itself. It doesn't. Huzzah! Right. Telemetry on. Lap data off. We don't need lap data. It's a race. And tyres. Let's have a look. Anyone been naughty? No. Everyone's on the tyre that they should be on. So, is that down to rhythms? Those are the drivers who qualified inside the top 10. Because ACW is one of the drivers who was not in the session. The other is Jack Plays. Neither of them are in the session. So KD gets to jump up a place. Same with the Gaming Wafer. There are now three medium runners. Cos Rage, TRT Tom R, and the Stone Towel that form P12, 13 and 14 on the grid. Don't know what these fellas are up to. They're having a muck about, it seems. But still, even though we've lost 2 drivers, I'm still hopeful for a pretty solid race here at Interlagos. It tends to be quite a DRS fest. If you can stay within a second of the car in front, even if you lose a fair amount of time in the middle sector, you should be able to claw it back on the long straights, and of course using that... Oh, Jesus. A bit wobbly there. And of course using DRS will close up even more, so... hopefully we won't bug out this time. We'll cross our fingers. Anyway, what is now a 14-car field will line up on the grid. And we can finally get this race underway. Hopefully. Maybe. Let's wait and see. Oh, Jesus. As the leaderboard has a bit of a moment there. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Izzat converts pretty nicely off the line. Everybody is ghosting for some reason as we head around turn 1 and through the center S. We got 3 wide in the midfield. Drivers just trying to find a bit of track to drive on as everyone is still ghosting for whatever reason. But a fairly timid, fairly controlled start. No one making any aggressive moves as of yet. Down the inside there, Alex Parto here, Mika Litsi. They are side by side through turn 5, heading up the hill. Plez, oh, he's a bit slower compared to Miku, but he was just far enough in front to stop the Finn from dive bombing. Rick and Wogboy having a battle there. Leo getting past into 3rd. Prime running a bit wide there. Miku on the outside, has the inside line for turn 10. And also 411 down the inside, contact between Miku and Plevs. More contact, a spinning for drops down to 14th place. Dearie me. I thought we have a timid start. No, it's the complete opposite. There's chaos up and down the field as Rick drops down to 4th place. From 2nd, Leo into 3rd, Wogboy into... Leo into 2nd, Wogboy into 3rd. As that completes the first lap of 36, and Izzat has got a tremendous lead already. As Rick drops down the leaderboard, as Rage retires in the pit lane and leaves the session immediately after. Rick has dropped down to 12th place. He slows down to let rhythms by. Miku as Rick retires from the session, not even in the pit lane, and that is something, as Tom R has crashed out colossally. That is at the exit of turn 5. We have 3 retirements after 1 and a bit laps. What is going on? And it's a VSC as well. It's not a proper safety car. There was a proper safety car where we would see a yellow dot at pit exit, so we're under VSC. Hang on, this might fix it. That does fix it. You can see they're gaming way for a 5-second penalty, a severe collision with Tom. Look at the lead Izzat has got already, 2.4 seconds. That's even bigger, 1 minute 18 seconds. Hopefully that will fix itself. And it will fix itself as Wogboy around the outside forces the issue. He'll have the inside line for turn 2. They're now coming round turn 3 and Leo comes out on top. But sitting in the slipstream, Wogboy, he fancies his chances here at turn 4. Does he look? Does he go for it? No. He stays behind as the Stone Tal has a moment at turn 3. The only driver left on the medium tyre, as Rhythms and Mikulitsi are fighting for 9th place. Rhythms coming out on top in that little scrap. Back to this, shall we? This gaggle of cars all squabbling for position. Currently leading said train is Leo, followed by Wogboy, Prime and Plebs. There is Alex and KD, not too far behind. Not close enough to attack. Here comes Prime, the Finn powering past into 3rd place. Now will Prime have a go at Leo? I think he will. Opens DRS. Does he use his battery? No, he doesn't. He's going to stay behind for now. Hang on. Here comes Miku and Rhythms. The Finn gets him before the corner and retakes 9th place as Plebs overtakes Wogboy as well. That was that little battle I missed out on. So Wogboy doesn't have a great deal of straight line speed, it would seem. Does he have damage on his car? Not from the looks of things, as ACW has joined the session and he won't be able to do anything. He can only spectate, so, and he's left immediately after. Prime, will he have a go? Not close enough. If he can get the run through turns 1, 2 and 3, he might be able to have a go into turn 4. Let's have a look. No, he hasn't gained anything, though he is using a bit of his battery. Not close enough. Up the hill towards Ferradura, turns 6 and 7. And then into the tight hairpin of 8. Into the tight sweeper of 9. The brief kink at 10 and a potential overtaking spot here at turn 11. Nowhere near close enough to try and make any sort of moves as of yet. And Junso, turn 13. Still not close enough. Leo, at the moment, he's got the measure over Prime. There's Plebs and Wogboy. And here comes KD, down the inside at turn 1. Tries to get the switch back, Alex. Can't get it done, though. KD into P6. Can Alex retaliate, though? Sitting in the slipstream, using the battery, using DRS. He's alongside. He's past the American, back into P6. Mikulitsi, Gaming Wafer and Rhythms having a scrap. This is for P8. Oh, and that's the Stone Tal having a moment at turn 1, spinning out. He gathers it back up, but he's a long, long way behind. But so long as he finishes, he will score something. So tell you what, we'll go back up to the top 3. Is Prime finally close enough? He's used a fair amount of battery there. Gaining, gaining, gaining. Oh. Oh, contact there! Just after the apex at turn 1. Just a little bit of contact, nothing too malicious, but here comes Prime. Sitting in the slipstream, closing in, closing in. Doesn't go for it. I think he would have gotten past, but he elected not to. These 4 cars still very, very close together. Meanwhile, out in front, Izzat just pulling away. Currently has a margin of 4.6 seconds. Back down the hill. Has to be said, Interlagos is quite the roller coaster ride. There's a fair amount of undulation on this short circuit. It still bewilders me why the Brazilian government want to create a new circuit in Rio and replace this one. Makes absolutely no sense to me. Oh, Prime very close into turn 1. This is such a gem of a racetrack. It will just be a completely wrong decision to replace it with something else. And people are close, but not close enough. They need to get to within about 4 tenths or so, heading out of turn 13, in order to have a go on the long straight into turn 1, I reckon. They need to find a bit more time somewhere. They need to try and find some momentum, slingshot past. Prime using a fair amount of his battery there. Closing in. Looks to the inside. Oh, Leo gives him space. They are side by side through 2. They made contact at turn 3. They are both sent pirouetting, and down the leaderboard they fall. Oh dear, oh dear. Down to P7, P8. Here comes Wafer. Can he get a sneaky position here? No, he can't. There we go, another bit of drama here at Interlagos. P2 and 3 colliding at turn 3. What was once P2 and 3 is now P7 and 8. Oh dear. Plebs and Wogboy can't believe what they've just seen in front of them. They're now on the podium. Heading around the 3rd sector. Can't quite get a move done just yet, Wogboy. He is close. Not close enough, I'm afraid. Still not close enough at turn 4 either, but he is closing. KD still on the back of Alex, still applying pressure as Wafer goes on to the hard compound tyre. And he'll be serving a penalty as well. Leo's clawed on to the back of Miku Lipsy. And Prime has got rhythms for company. They're currently separated by 7 tenths of a second. Leo spins Miku! They made contact, I believe. I don't think Miku did that by himself as the stone tower retires in the pits, meaning there are only 10 cars left in the race. And I do believe Miku and Prime made... sorry, not Prime. Miku and Leo made contact there at turn 11. Oh, Wog Boy, he's close. He's very close. Not close enough. He is ready to attack though. Both drivers fairly low on ERS, 27%. He was about 12% at the same point, so Flevs has got the upper hand in that regards. He has slightly more resources. Not much more, but slightly more. KD needs to try and find some sort of run at the exit of 13. Alex just steadily pulling away. And a bit of a mistake there from KD. Lost a small amount of time at the apex of 13. He still has DRS though. Not quite close enough through 1 and 2. Turn 3. Sitting in the slipstream, closing up on his rival. Still not close enough to attack. Ooh. Rhythm's on the back of Prime now. The Finn's tyres will be hurting quite a bit more compared to the tyres on the Ferrari after he had that spin at turn 3. Would have cooked the tyres up quite a bit. I reckon Rhythms might have a go on this lap. Have a quick look at the other battles, just a moment, see if there's any action. Again, Wogboy not close enough. KD closing but not close enough, as that's the Gaming Wafer making a mistake. Here comes Rhythms. Through turns 1 and 2 and then into the left-hand sweeper of Curva du Sol. Here comes Rhythms using his battery, using DRS. He pulls alongside. He has to go deep. He does. And he gets the position into 7th place. Goes the German. But a misshift then. Here comes the Finn. Round the outside here at turn 6. Oh, that's a fair amount of commitment shown there by Prime. Credit to him for trying to have a go around the outside. He just didn't quite have the grip to make it stick. That's a fair old effort. Can Wogboy finally have a go? DRS open again. Closing in again. He's closing, looking to the inside. Doesn't commit to the move though. Missed the apex at turn 2 as well. Not close enough to attack. Sound like a broken record at this point. So strategy is going to play a part in these little battles that are going on. Who undercuts who overcuts who. Is that race leader currently holding all the cards? So... but we'll have to wait and see what they do in terms of strategy. Oh, and here we go, into the pits. Wogboy as well. They're all coming in. Prime in as well. Fellow Finn Mika Litsu stays out. They're chucking on the medium compound tyre. All of them are chucking on the medium compound tyre. Wow, KD has lost a serious amount of time to Alex. Did KD have to do a wing change or something? Here comes Rhythms. Gap is now just over 1 second between the two. Prime exiting the pits as well. Is there a little something I have not seen? KD didn't have a front wing change, neither did Alex, but KD is a long way behind compared to Alex. Prime did have a front wing change, but everyone should have had fairly clean stops. KD is now 3 seconds behind. Must have been held in the pits. Fresh tyres for Plevs. Same with Leo and Miku. Now can Wogboy get himself in front of Plevs? I think he will. The undercut has worked. He's into second place. Now all he has to do is pull away. Easier said than done though. Gap is 9/10. Wogboy needs to increase that to a second if he can. Plevs needs to keep it under a second. And Izzat pits from the race lead. He'll put on the medium compound tyre. On they go. Out of the pits. Plevs. Oh, it's going to be close. Does he have DRS? No. Plevs has missed out, but has dumped a fair amount of his battery to claw back within a second of Wogboy. Wogboy has used a fair amount as well as he sets the fastest lap. So Plevs, he'll get DRS here and close up again on the Renault. Close up some more through this second sector. Well, actually, it's quite the opposite. Wogboy starting to pull away a little bit. That actually does explain a bit, as Wogboy loses a fair amount of time on the straights. So he's running with slightly higher wings, maybe a slightly taller car as well. So he's finding time in that technical middle sector, but losing all of it in the first and third. See that gap close from 9/10 to 8/10, 7.5, and down to 7/10 into turn 1. Close up some more, heading out of turn 3 and towards turn 4. Blows up to about 6/10. KD, he's under a bit of pressure here. He has Rhythms closing in, running wide as well and getting a penalty. So Rhythms has now got 3 seconds worth of penalties next to their name, and he's also running even on fuel. You see the yellow fuel icon in the telemetry. Plevs, DRS open again, trying to close in. Heading into turns 1 and 2, the gap is 4/10. Gap closes up quite a bit. And here he comes. Sitting in the slipstream. Wogboy defends, half defends really. Plebs doesn't commit to a move. And Rhythms overtakes KD, who has made some sort of mistake there at the exit of turn 2. Has now fallen into the clutches of Miku Litsi in P8. Still got some way to go as well in this race. Here comes Plevs. Uses DRS. Closes up again. He doesn't have the battery life to try and propel himself past with the DRS and ERS combo. He's got a bit now. Still not quite close enough to really make it work though. If he uses his ERS up here, he'd just be wasting it really. So he needs to save up enough charge. He needs to try and play it out smartly, and here comes Miku down the inside and into 7th place. Overtaking KD. KD's not giving up though. He's right on the gearbox of the Mercedes-Benz. Miku covers him off though. Rounding turn 6 and 7, the Finn stays out in front. But both of them catch up to Rhythms, turning this into a potential 3-way scrap for P6. Down the hill, coming to turn 13. Half a second is the gap up the hill. Using DRS, doesn't use any battery just yet. KD following suit. Rounding turns 1 and 2 as... oh, what's happened here? Alex has spun. Makes for a safe time to rejoin. Does so. And here comes Miku. Without hesitation into P5. Prime gets by Alex Parto as well into P8. Oh, I wonder if Alex did that by himself or did he have a helping hand? I'm not sure. Not sure at all. Rhythms just keeps within a second. Quite vulnerable to KD right now. KD using DRS, sitting in the slipstream. He's not quite close enough to attack. Doesn't have the momentum on his side either. But Rhythms locks up massively there as Miku gets a penalty. Makes a bit of a mess of turns 2 and 3 as well. And here comes KD. He's alongside. He has a nose. Oh, and Rhythms backs out of it. He actually went off the throttle there to let KD by. Oh, Alex Prime side by side there. We saw Prime do a similar thing with Rhythms. This is effectively given the same result. If you're on the outside of turn 6, you really can't make it stick there. Close but no cigar at the moment. Oh, it's Rhythms pits. Okay. A set of softs goes on the car and a front wing change as well. Those softs will make it. That won't be a problem. Exiting turn 13 and going up the hill once again. 0.7 of a second is the gap separating the two. Close up by about 0.2 as soon as they head into turn 1. This is just about the only battle on track at the moment. Plebs just cannot get himself into a position to attack. Sort of stuck in no man's land. He gains in the third and first. The amount of time he loses in the second means that all that time found in the other two sectors is just made completely redundant. So you can see that with Wogboy, he's gone with a setup that has a bit more downforce compared to Plebs. He's able to make the most out of this second sector. Not only that, but also with the higher drag profile, he's creating more dirty air, which makes it increasingly difficult for Plebs to follow. All these little factors adding up to what appears to be a stalemate between these two. Still, he's closing up. He's not giving up, Plebs. He's a lot closer than what he was before. And here he comes. Using DRS, Wogboy drives in the middle of the road. Plebs down the inside. Gets the move done. Finally, the breakthrough. Does Wogboy have anything in response? Rounding turn 11. Through 12. And into turn 13. Well, boy, I don't think he made the most out of that corner. I noticed with Plebs he used all of the road on the right hand side, including that sort of fake grass that is there at the exit, or rather on the outside of turn 13. Wogboy didn't use any of it. On a racetrack with such fine margins between the drivers, you really do have to make the most of everything. He's going to make the most of this. Gives Plebs a taste of his own medicine and retakes second place. Plebs not giving up though. Unless he goes for a risky send here. No, he's basically stuck behind Wogboy for this sector. The rest of the field is pretty well spread out at the moment too. Out in front though is that no troubles whatsoever. The race leader has just begun lap 27, so we've got 10 laps to go. This is the only battle to watch, to be quite frank. The battle for second place has been ongoing now for a while. But right at the beginning of the race, it wasn't a battle for second, it was more so a battle for fourth, as Leo and Prime, who are currently P4 and 7, they were battling for the other two podium spots, but they came together at turn 3, dropping them down the order. Alex Parto has left the session. Oh dear. Nothing seems to go right at the moment. Well, there's one thing going right, I guess. Is that Kush hasn't put a foot wrong so far. Race leader's got an incredibly healthy margin. Singaporean will be looking for a 5th win in this championship. That will be the most of any driver in the field. Will be a nice little prize to take home with you. If you can't get the Drivers' Championship, you might as well take the title of the most winningest driver, as Alex says. Oh dear. So the AI in Alex Parto's car has elected to make a pit stop. So always Wafer and Rhythms are getting some action going on here. They're side by side, and this time the outside move works. Oh, but Wafer doesn't care. He's going to stick it up the inside, but to no avail. Rhythms will have the inside line for turn 9 and keeps 8th place. So that's how you make a move around the outside work at turn 6 rather. You need to be on significantly fresher and softer tires, and then you can make it stick. Wogboy's still hanging on. Gap is increasing a little bit. Plebs can't let him pull away. That's precisely what Plebs is letting him do at the moment. Wogboy has pulled away so much that Plebs doesn't have DRS. They've got 7 laps to go, so Plebs doesn't have a lot of time to try and retake second away from Wogboy. Needs to get a move on as Alex has rejoined the session. Prime closing in incrementally on KD. We might see a battle on track for P6. It's already been dictated because of the penalties that KD has. But still, we might see a little bit of on-track action. Through the middle sector, Prime will be trying to not make any mistakes through here. Try and gain time where he can, but probably more importantly, try and not lose time to KD. Keep the gap nice and close, so when you arrive at the DRS zone, you're in a position to overtake into turn 1, but he makes a mistake. A small mistake at turn 13. Using DRS, sitting in the slipstream. Pulls to the inside, it's a late move. 6 goes Prime. As the leaderboard resets itself. Hang on a minute. Oh, and that's Alex's AI? Or is it him? Oh no. Can't just go to the car in front and look behind. I'm not sure if it's him or the AI. I think that's him. That's not quite an AI input. And for whatever reason, the AI has put on 16 lap old softs. They aren't fresh. They're old rubber. And into the pits he goes. Oh, the AI is more stupid than what I initially thought. So the AI put on old rubber instead of fresh rubber, because that makes a whole lot of sense. Plebs has clawed back to within a second of Wogboy as well. Battle for second place is not over. Gap is 9/10 between the two as they head up the hill. There's the DRS detection zone, that little line across the racetrack there. We'll get DRS and he'll close up a bit more. And they got 4 laps to try and settle this spat. See if they can. Wogboy, his job is to try and go as fast as possible and pull away. Plebs, he needs to go as fast as possible and close up. It's fairly simple, really. It's a lot more difficult to do that, though, in practice. These guys really do have to drive as hard as they can, as Alex goes into the pits again. Oh yeah, because he's on 13 lap old mediums. He put on old rubber. Has he got any? Yeah, there we go, that's some fresh rubber. There you go. Try and go for fastest lap. Rhythms is doing the same. And the gaming wafer. You might as well try and get it. You know, have a little qualifying performance right at the end of the race, so screw it, why not? Using overtake up the hill. Trying to maximise the straight line speed down the pit straight. There's a lap car in front of Wogboy. That is the gaming wafer. Fortunately for Plebs, wafer isn't close enough to give Wogboy DRS. And Wogboy's running out of battery, and here comes the AlphaTauri. Not close enough though, or missing the apex slightly though, Wogboy. Using overtake again, here comes Plebs, sitting right on his gearbox. Rounding turn 11, gap closes up, and it opens again, that corner exit. Plebs doesn't get the best of exits. Not too bad though, he is close. Here he comes. He's got no battery left either. Down the inside into turn 1 with 2 laps to go. He sends it and gets it done. Wogboy's fighting though. Can't get the switch back. Rounding turn 3, sitting in the slipstream. Here he comes using DRS. He was slingshot by Plebs and retakes second place. Nice little scrap there. Plebs sitting right behind, right on his gearbox. Again up the hill, 2 tenths separate the cars, rounding turn 6. Then turn 7. Whoa, deep on the brakes, he almost goes into the back of Wogboy. Well, at least we get to see a battle right here at the end of the race. This will come down to the final lap. Six tenths. Oh, and Wogboy misses contact between the two. You can see there, Wogboy completely missed the apex, and here comes Plebs round the outside. He gets the position, and Wogboy has to go. He's got a puncture. He's got a puncture. Into the pits he goes. That's why he had that mistake. He has a puncture. Right, that adds a little bit of spice to this, because Wogboy did 19 laps. Plebs is on 19 laps. Same with Leo. Leo's on the podium now. Out of nowhere. Izzat's only done 18 laps. Oh, who's going to finish where? That is incredibly unlucky for Wogboy. He falls to 6th place. Guess the commentator's curse struck again. I said that battle was going to go down to the final lap. It didn't. It got resolved on lap 35. This man has done a tremendous job in this race, taking the checkered flag here in Brazil. It's a 5th win of the season for Isaac Kush. Miraculously, Plevs' tyres will hang on. Mr. Race Spec will take 2nd place at Interlagos. Leo will take an unexpected podium, P3 for the Haas driver. Mikulitsi might take 4th place. Let's have a look at post-race penalties. It's going to be close. Prime will take it by 0.08 of a second. And Wogboy will take P6. How unbelievably unlucky is that? That he got a puncture with a bit over a lap to go. Who claimed fastest lap as well? That will go to Rhythms at the moment. What about Alex Parto? Can the Italian snag fastest lap right at the death? 1 minute 7.7 is the time to beat. Doesn't do it. Fastest lap will go to Rhythms. So there we go. The end to what has been a long race and a long season on Race Spec Esports. I think we've done a championship of 15 rounds. Taken some time to get through it, I have to say. There you go, Izzat will stand on the top step for the 5th time this season. And a successful driver over the course of this RS2 championship. Pledge will stand on the podium with Leo, who I bet wasn't expecting that with 2 laps to go. But there we go. A fine drive from Isaac Kush to stand on the top step. From pole position, led every lap. It was a clean and clinical drive from the Red Bull Racing driver. Plebs P2, Leo P3 after his collision with Prime, who finishes 4th. I bet he wasn't expecting a podium finish, yet he was given one. Miku in 5th, and this is the man who gave Leo the podium. Wogboy, incredibly unlucky. With 1 and a bit laps to go, the front right tyre on his Renault gave way, and he had to pit for a new set of tyres. But in the end, Wogboy will claim 6th place. KD in 7th from 10th on the grid. Rhythms, fairly uneventful race for the German, I would think. Finishing P8, but with fastest lap as well, so snags that extra point. Gaming Wafer in P9, and Alex Parto will round out the finishers in 10th place. You have to say, when you notice that 3 cars retired after the first lap, you knew this was going to be a sort of an uninteresting race. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the greatest race either. I have definitely seen much better here at Interlagos, but you get that every now and then. It wasn't the most interesting race, but yeah, it's what we've got. But there we go. Well then, it's not quite over, I should say, for Race Spec Esports though. We still have the season finale for the PlayStation RS1 Championship, which is going to go live in a few moments, so best tune into that to see how that all pans out. But for RS2, I think it's time to wrap everything up. But yes, there we go. Been a long season. Been a long season. The daily, weekly items, cool. I'll check those in a moment. But that will wrap up the championship too. I should give a bit of screen time to Izzat, but I probably should go over to Alfa Romeo, the drivers champion and teams champion as well. ACW and Alfa Romeo. ACW, a fine performance over the course of the season, even with 2 shocking races at Monaco and here in Brazil with connection problems. Still claims the drivers championship quite comfortably. But no, I think that will conclude this stream though. I don't have much more else to say. I don't know if we are doing anything between now and Season 5. I know in Season 3 we did have an all-star race in between Season 3 and 4, so we might have that again. We'll just have to wait and see. But for this season's worth of racing and this championship, it's time for us to end. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I've been the Smeg, and until next time, whenever that may be, I was going to end on a better note than that. I really wanted to end on a better note. I really wanted to talk about what happened, but yeah. So yeah, until next time, it's goodbye.